Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever found yourself just rushing through life, feeling like you're missing the profound moments that are hidden in the mundane, today is your necessary pause.
It really is.
We're doing a deep dive into the Ghost Movement Weekly Reflections by Pedro Malha.
And we've synthesized the core teachings from the entire Ghosts trilogy for you. That's deep time, living time, and beyond time.
Right. And our mission here isn't just to give you a summary.
No, not at all. We want to break down the actual mechanics of a single weekly ritual.
To give you a shortcut, really, to understanding this rhythm of presence and memory that's woven gently into the life you already live.
A beautiful way to put it.
Okay, so let's unpack this core philosophy right away, because the title itself, Ghosts, can be a bit misleading.
I think so. When Malha talks about ghosts, he's not talking about specters.
No, he's talking about echoes, right? So what really defines this movement?
What's really fascinating here is that the movement is fundamentally an exploration of connection.
Connection, okay.
Yeah, how we feel, remember, and process the world. But, and this is the key, not through collecting data.
So not through information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But through sensation. It really challenges that purely intellectual approach to self-improvement.
So we're learning through the body, not just the brain. And you mentioned the trilogy titles, Deep Time, Living Time, Beyond Time. That suggests that time itself is layered. How does that show up in the practice?
It views reality almost geologically. It's a great metaphor.
Geologically, I like that.
So deep time deals with the past, the echoes that linger, the forgotten paths that are still humming just beneath the surface of your life.
And living time, that's the present.
That's the present. It's where the breath slows, awareness sharpens, and a ritual becomes a genuine doorway into the now.
And what about beyond time? I mean, that sounds pretty abstract.
It does, but it's really the layer of possibility. It's not about predicting the future.
Not like a crystal ball.
No, not at all. It's about feeling where what's to come just gently brushes against the edge of the present. It's about cultivating what the author calls liminal attention.
Liminal attention.
Yeah, that active awareness of being in a state of transition. You're not in the past, not in the future, but on the bridge you're standing on right now.
That's a profoundly useful distinction. You're taking this abstract idea of transition and giving it a physical location for your mind to settle on.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk application. These are called weekly reflections, but the sources really emphasize that you can do them whenever your life allows.
And that is absolutely critical to their success. These books are not guidebooks or maps that you're supposed to finish in 52 weeks.
Right.
They're invitations to cultivate sustained attention like geological awareness or embodied attention. The whole purpose is to slow down, to pause, and to notice.
I have to push back a little on this idea.
Go for it.
If the goal is genuinely to slow down and follow your, quote, inner weather, as the author says, why create such a structured ritual? 52 distinct reflections. Doesn't a weekly structure kind of defeat the purpose of a natural flow?
That's a really important question. I think the structure acts more as a container, not a cage.
The container, okay.
While they're numbered 1 through 52, the author is explicit about encouraging you to read them at your own pace. You could spend a few moments or a half hour. Maybe you do one reflection every 10 days. The structure is there to ensure the content is comprehensive, but the pace is entirely yours.
So it's sort of a quiet rebellion against the whole productivity mindset. You're not maximizing your time by checking off a task.
No, you're deepening your time by intentionally engaging in a moment of presence.
Right.
And this connects to why repetition is so key. Rereading a reflection you did months ago it's like walking the same path, but at a different time of day or in a different season.
You bring a new version of yourself to it.
A new version of yourself, exactly. And you notice what your hurried mind completely overlooked the first time. It wears wisdom into the path, allowing meaning to build layer upon layer, kind of like sedimentation.
It honors the idea that you might not resonate with something one week, but you will later.
Yes, that uneven resonance is expected. You might not need the lesson on trust this week, but you might desperately need it 6 months from now.
That makes perfect sense. The goal is depth over completion. So if we accept this philosophy, this slow, repetitive, embodied learning, how does Malha actually provide the architecture to guide us into that pause? What does the rhythm look like when you open the book?
Okay, so the ritual for each reflection is structured by this very consistent four-page, four-fold rhythm. It's highly intentional.
Like a micro process?
Exactly, like crossing a bridge or even an archaeological excavation designed to move you from the momentum of your day into a state of presence.
Okay, let's detail those four folds. How do they transition the mind?
So they're laid out over four distinct steps. First, there's the pause. This is the left-hand breathe page.
A literal instruction to breathe.
A physical instruction. Still your momentum, suspend your breath, let the echoes of the world settle. It's about creating silence.
Okay, so first you pause. Then what?
Second is the intention. This is on the right-hand title page, and it names your crossing point. You identify the specific element and theme for the week, let's say flicker and unfinished from beyond time.
Hold on, can you clarify what an element is? I get stone, but
Mhm.
what is a flicker as an element?
That's a great question to challenge. The elements are everyday objects or even processes that are viewed as vessels of memory.
Ah,
So in deep time, it might be a stone or a key. In beyond time, they get more dynamic, like a flicker, which represents those fleeting, almost imperceptible moments where a possibility or the future first shows itself.
so the element is always something you can sense, even if it's just shadow or light.
It's always tangible, yes, it's an anchor.
I see. So we have the pause and the intention. What are the final two folds?
Third is the reflection. That's the content left page. This is where you step onto the bridge, you receive the instruction.
And then the fourth.
Fourth is the integration, the content right page. This is where you act on it. You carry the crossing or lift the find.
So reflection, integration. That's where the deep content is. And you're saying these two steps always have a consistent six-part sequence.
Always. That six-part sequence is the absolute heart of the practice. It's broken down into the informational setup and then the sensory action.
Okay, walk us through it.
So the reflection side, the left page, sets the stage with three elements.
Three. Got it.
First, the weekly welcome. It's a grounding opening to the element and theme. Then the element reflection, which offers thoughts on the chosen object, the stone, the key, the flicker, and how it holds time or story.
And the third one.
And the third is the theme invitation. This explains how the emotional, current-like loss or trust or unfinished lives in the mundane details of your daily life.
And then the integration side, the right page. This is where the rubber meets the road. We go from reading to experiencing,
Absolutely. The integration side provides the embodied practice.
which also has three parts.
Three more parts. Number 4 is sensory engagement. A simple, immediate practice to feel the element's aliveness, touching, listening, imagining its weight or texture.
Okay.
5 is the memory anchor. This is a specific prompt that connects your personal story to the element and theme.
And the last one.
And finally, number 6, the closing reflection. It's a parting thought, a quiet gift to carry forward into your week.
That is the complete architecture. The power, though, I imagine, is in how those six parts interact.
It is.
So let's walk through a full example so you can truly feel the rhythm. We'll use the foundational one from Deep Time, Week 1 Stone Memory.
Perfect. So we've done the pause, and our intention is stone and memory.
Okay, starting the reflection. The element reflection describes the stone as the Earth's oldest witness, something formed under intense pressure, holding time in its grain.
And the insight there is that your memory, like a stone, endures not by being perfectly recorded, but just through its sheer endurance and stillness.
I like that.
Then the theme invitation frames memory not as a chronological record, but as a slow accumulation.
Like sediment.
Exactly, like sediment hardening into stone. It immediately introduces the idea that memory anchors us, gives us roots, but it doesn't have to chain us to the past.
Now we cross to the integration page. This is the action part. The sensory engagement prompt is so simple but so potent.
It really is.
You imagine picking up a smooth, cool stone from a riverbank. You feel its weight in your palm-solid grounding. You actively notice its texture, its temperature, and you let that physical sensation remind you that memories can be held lightly.
And this is the moment. This is where the abstract becomes physical. The weight and the coolness of the imagined stone root the abstract concept of memory in your physical presence.
Your body of processing the sensation.
Yes, and that releases the mind from the intellectual burden of fixing or analyzing the memory.
It's using the body as a trick for grounding. I love that. Then comes the memory anchor prompt.
Mm-hmm.
It asks you to recall a specific place where stone holds meaning for you. A childhood garden path. A pebble you kept from a beach.
A city street paved with history.
Exactly. And you sit with that and ask, What feelings or senses arise now? How does this small material anchor connect you to a moment or a person now gone?
See, by linking a present physical feeling, the imagined cool stone, with a past physical place, the garden path, the reflection forces the layers of time to fold in on themselves.
It makes the past live in your present body.
That's the design. It transforms a historical fact into an active, felt experience.
And finally, the closing reflection gives you that parting thought, that gift. It says, memories like stones are carried with us. Some we pocket for comfort, others we lay down to rest.
Goes on. This week, let the steadfastness of stone remind you that your memories are part of a deeper landscape, one that roots you without holding you still. Carry them gently.
And just like that, you see how elegantly they pulled off that core mission.
Absolutely. The reflection started with a totally abstract theme, memory, and ended with a tangible, executable action, carrying the stone gently, that cultivates presence and changes your relationship to your own past.
It's knowledge gained through embodied noticing, not through collecting more facts about your life.
Right.
This practice really seems to be about finding resilience. If we're always rushing through information, we treat mistakes as failures to be deleted. But if we view our experience as sediment, as this practice encourages, how does that change how we process, say, a mistake at work?
That's a great application. If you view your mistake as just a data point, it's a failure to be optimized away.
Right, something to fix.
But if you view it as sediment, as a layer, it's simply part of the landscape that is now supporting the next layer of growth.
Ah, I see.
Geological awareness tells you that pressure and change are what create structure, what create beauty. The practice gives you permission to view your life, including all its rough edges, with patience and endurance, just like the stone.
It shifts the narrative.
It shifts the entire narrative from what went wrong to what is now strong enough to bear the next layer.
That is a profoundly useful distinction for anyone listening who feels just overwhelmed by that modern demand for constant forward movement.
I think so.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? The main takeaway from the ghost movement practice is that knowledge, resilience, and connection are found not by rushing to get more external data, but by paying deliberate, embodied attention to the ordinary things you already touch.
Your keys, the stone in the garden, the shadow on the wall.
Exactly. This deep dive shows that the highly structured container is there to cultivate what the author calls threshold awareness.
That ability to meet uncertainty and change, not with immediate answers, but with a grounding presence. You learn to trust the rhythm, not the destination.
And this brings us right back to the philosophy of beyond time and the future.
It does.
The practice reminds us that you need not see the future, only feel where it touches the edge of now. Memory acts as a compass, not a chain. It points toward what might still unfold.
Exactly. The final implication of engaging with the past, present, and future in this layered, sensitive way is this quiet acknowledgement that your life is part of a massive continuum. You're not separate from the ancient world of the stone or the possibilities waiting in the unknown.
It's a beautifully grounding thought.
It is. You are the latest layer in your own long story. So the provocation for you this week is to simply pick up a common object, hold it, and feel what forgotten story it might be waiting to tell you.